Good morning, one and all present here. This is Amit Kumar Singh, and welcome, guys. Welcome back to another session on operation research. So probably in this subject of operation research, we have spent a lot of time together working on transportation problem. So transportation problem, when we talk about transportation problem, the objective what need to be set in transportation problem should be minimization. So the objective what we need to work on transportation problem should be minimization, and based on the minimization objective, whenever we see the problem, then with the total demand should be equal to total supply. If the objective is minimization and the total demand for the given matrix is equal to total supply, then we'll go ahead with solving the problem. So the first thing what we try to do whenever we get the problem is that we find the initial basic feasible solution. So in order to find the initial basic feasible solution, we either follow least cost method, or we follow Vogel approximation method, or we follow matrix minimum method. Either by following least cost method, or by following matrix minima method, or by following the Vogel approximation method, we find the initial basic feasible solution. So once we found our initial basic feasible solution, then at the end of the day, we get certain allocation on certain cells out of the total data what we got. So by looking at the total number of allocation, we do the test of degeneracy. So when we do the test of degeneracy, we apply the formula that the total number of allocation should be equal to m plus n minus 1, where m is the total number of rows, while n is the total number of column, and 1. So with that, we see that the total number of deallocation, total number of allocation, is that equal to m plus n minus 1 or not. If they are equal to m plus n minus 1, then it means that the total number of allocation what we get, the total number of allocation what we get, that means that the given solution is non-degenerate. Otherwise, then the given solution is degenerate. Then we should find the total cost. Although the total cost is not the optimal cost, certain time when you solve the problem, in the problem they just want you to find the initial basic feasible solution. So if you do that much, your work is done. But certain time they expect you to find the optimal value. So in order to find the optimal value, then we check that the allocation what we did is optimal or not. In order to check that the allocation we did is optimal or not, so for that what we work on, so we work on a method. That method is called MODI method, or modified distribution method, or UV method, where what we do, for every rows and column we assign U and V values. Out of U and V values, what we assign, one value we make it equal to 0, and once we made one value equal to 0, then we just give preference to the occupied cells, and we apply the formula, the Cij is equal to Ui plus Vj. With that, we try to fill the values of U and V. Once we fill the value of U and V, then for the unoccupied cells, we apply the formula that Cij minus bracket of Ui plus Vj, and then we see the rest other cells are positive or not. So if we get that, then it's optimal solution. Otherwise, we take the help of loop. So now the biggest, whenever you start solving the problem, the first and foremost thing for solving the problem is that the matrix for which what we are working should be minimization matrix. Now, if you see this problem, what I have given you, now if you see in this problem, now for today problem, if you, now in this today problem, when you are seeing, you can see that the matrix what is given here is a maxima matrix. The matrix was opposed to minima matrix. I hope you remember, from day one I'm teaching you one thing, that whenever you see the matrix should be minimum matrix, and total demand should be equal to total supply. Here if you see total demand, is that equal to total supply? So 23 plus 33 is 56, 56 plus 44 is 100, then 23 plus 31, 23 plus 31 is 54. 54 plus 60 is 70. 70 plus 30 is 100. So total demand is equal to total supply here. But when you see the matrix is the maxima matrix. If you notice in this problem, the matrix what you can see, this is the matrix what you can see. This matrix is the maxima matrix. If you notice in this problem. Now in exam, you every year more or less the case study. If you see, already the question paper I have forwarded you in the group. So if you see the question paper, you notice that the case study is always like this problem. You open the previous year question paper, you see the case study. The case study will be this one. The case study will be like this only. They will ask you transportation problem, and they want you to solve this problem where your objective should be maximum. So now I'm just starting today with easy problem. Tomorrow we'll do the same kind of problem, but tomorrow when we'll do the problem, there in that tomorrow problem, the demand will not be equal to supply. We'll give you unbalanced transportation problem where the objective is maximum. So that kind of questions every year come for your exam. So for your exam, they'll ask you unbalanced transportation problem where your objective is maximum. Already I taught you how to solve unbalanced transportation problem. Today I am teaching you how to solve the problem when the objective is maximum. So we use both the concepts together to solve that problem. Okay, going ahead. So whenever your objective is maxima, so you will convert this maxima matrix. So you will convert this matrix which is maxima. So you will convert this matrix. This is maxima matrix. So this is maxima matrix. We will convert this maxima matrix into minima matrix. So we will convert first. The first thing what we need to do, that we have to convert the maxima matrix into minima matrix. In case if you forget to do this in exam, then no matter what you have done, anything after this, examiner will give you 0 marks. So how to convert the maxima matrix into minima matrix? To convert the maxima matrix into the minima matrix, you have to choose an element which is the highest. Out of all the elements, see the element which is the highest. Out of all the element within the data, don't see in supply and demand. See out of all the element which is present within the data, see the element which is the highest. Out of all the elements, see the element which is the highest. So I got the element which is highest. So what is that element? Find the element which is the highest. So which one is that element? So the element which is the highest is 90. So see the element which is the highest. So the element which is the highest is 90. Okay. Did you get that? Yes, sir. I got that element. Okay. Very good. So first thing what you have to do to convert the maxima matrix into the minimum matrix, you have to find the element which is the highest. Once you found that element which is the highest, now what you have to do, you have to subtract all other elements with the highest element. Now subtract every element from the highest element. So do 90 minus 15, then do 90 minus 51, then do 90 minus 42, then 90 minus 33, then 90 minus 80, then 90 minus 42, then 90 minus 26, then 90 minus 81, then 90 minus 90, so then 90 minus 40, then 90 minus 66, then 90 minus 60. So what you have to do, once you find the element which is the highest, sir, I got that element. What is that element? The element is 90. So once you found that element to be 90, now subtract all the other elements. You have altogether 12 elements. So subtract all the 12 elements from 90. So with that you convert the objective function from maxima to minima. So now I'll write, since the data given in the matrix, R of profit So the objective function, for the given problem. So the objective function for the given problem is maximization, but the transportation problem, but in order to solve, the transportation problem, the transportation problem, the objective function should be minimization. The objective function should be minimization. So to convert maxima matrix into minima matrix, the maxima matrix into minima matrix, choose the highest element from the cells and subtract all the elements from the highest element. Okay, so once this is done, then the given matrix, then the given matrix is minima matrix. When this is done, then the given matrix is the minimum matrix. So this is the step what you need to do. So whenever you get the problem, you have to see the problem. You have to see that the total demand is equal to total supply or not. Or you see that the total demand is equal to total supply or not. Before that, what you have to do, you have to see the element which is the highest, because because this is the problem of maximization, and maximization problem cannot be solved by the usual transportation problem method. So what you have to do, you have to choose the element which is maximal out of all the element and subtract all the element from this maximal element. So I hope everyone is clear with this. Anyone have any doubt? Anyone want to ask anything? 1 minute. Let me just. Anyone want to ask anything? Anyone want to ask anything? Everyone is clear, right? So what I will do, I'll convert this maxima matrix into minima matrix. So let's see here. How will we convert this maxima matrix? So you can see this matrix now. For you, I'm converting it here only. Now what is the highest element? The highest element is 90. You can see the highest element. The highest element, you can see the highest element is 90. Everyone can see that the highest element is 90. Okay, now what you will do, subtract all the elements from 90. So the highest element is 90. If you subtract all the elements, see this is 90. So 90 minus 90 is 0. Then 90 minus 15 is 75. Then 90 minus 51. 90 minus 51 is 39. Okay, so 90 minus 42 is 48. Then 90 minus 33 is, so subtract all the elements from this highest element. Then 90 minus 80 is 10. 90 minus 42 is 48. 90 minus 26 is 64. 90 minus 81 is 9. 90 minus 40 is 50. 90 minus 66 is 24. And 90 minus 60 is 30. So subtract all the elements from this maximal element. I hope this is clear with everyone. I hope everyone is clear with this. Anyone have doubt, please ask me. Anyone have doubt, please ask me. So what you have done, because in this problem, if you notice in this problem, this is a problem where your objective function is maxima. 100% guys, this comes for 15 marks for you. Although the problem what I'm doing today is comparatively very easy, but like this kind of question come, but they are question little bit difficult that you will practice in the further on session. Today, this is kind of introductory class on the maximization problem. So we are doing with easy problem. So your objective function should be maximization. So in order to convert this maxima matrix into minima matrix, so you will find the element which is the highest, and then you subtract all other elements from this highest element, so that you can convert the maximum matrix into minima matrix. That should be your objective function. Now, when you get the problem, the first thing what you will do, guys, before you focusing on total supply, is that equal to total demand or not? Before you focus on that part, before you make sure that you convert the maximum matrix into minimum matrix. So, is this that done? Yes, sir. Yes, it is done. Once that is done, now you see total demand is equal to total supply or not. So if you see total demand 23 plus 31, that is 54. 54 plus 16 is 70. 70 plus 30 is 100. Similarly, total supply is the total sum is 100 only. 23 plus 33 is 56. 56 plus 44 is 100. So total demand is total supply. Yes. Now what you will do? Now the given matrix is minima matrix, and the objective function is minima, and the total demand is equal to total supply. Now you can solve the initial basic feasible solution. So let's solve the initial basic feasible solution by Vogel approximation method. So apply Vogel approximation method to tell me the initial basic feasible solution. Everyone use Vogel approximation method, and by using Vogel approximation method, tell me the initial basic feasible solution. Everyone use Vogel approximation method, and based on Vogel approximation method, tell me the initial basic feasible solution. Everyone do fast. Everyone use the Vogel approximation method to tell me the initial basic feasible solution. So this is the problem. So now if I want to use Vogel approximation method, let me delete this. So everyone use Vogel approximation method. So we'll find the penalty for every row and column. If I'm using Vogel approximation method, then for every row and column I have to find the penalty. For every row and column I have to find the penalty. So it depends on which method to use. I'll always suggest you, if you have the option to choose any method, then better prefer Vogel approximation method, because that will give you the answer the most closest to the correct answer. Now if I apply Vogel approximation method, now column wise, here the difference between lowest and the next lowest element. If you find the difference between lowest and the next lowest element, so you can see 10 minus 0 column wise. If you see, that is 10 minus 0, that is 10. Then here it is lowest is 39, so 48 minus 39, that is 9. Here the lowest is 48 minus 24, that is 24. Here the lowest is 30 minus 9, 30 minus 9 is 21. So like this, I have done column wise. Once you're done column wise, now you can find the penalty row wise. So here the row wise, the lowest is 39. So 48 minus 39. So 48 minus 39 is 9. Then here this is 10 minus 9 means 1. Here this is 24 minus 0. It is 24. So if you see out of all the penalties what you get, you can see out of all the penalties what you get. Now the highest one is 24. So once you get that highest one is 24, so any 24 you can take. So suppose I'm preferring that the out of all the highest one is this. Now it means now you find the lowest element in the given column. So the lowest element in the given column is 24. It means you see the allocation, what you can do. The demand for that is 16 and the supply is 33. So demand for that is 16 and the supply is 33. So what you can do that now, based on that, what you can do now, the maximum what you can put is 16. If you put 16 here, this will become 17. Again I'll find once that is done. Now again I'll find once you're done the allocation for one column that we did for the third column. Now we'll find similarly again the same process. Here again the difference will be 10. Here again the difference will be 9. Here again the difference will be 21. The column will no effect because you have done allocation column wise. Now row wise, now if you see the lowest element is 39 and the next element for that is 57. So 57 minus 39 if you do, so you will get 18. So then you will get 18. Then here that is 1 only. And here that is 24 only. Here that is 30 minus 0. Here this would be 830, not 24. Now you see which is the highest one out of all the penalties. See which is the highest. The highest is 30. It means now it will enter. It means now it will enter. Now if it will enter into the solution, if it enter into the solution, see the lowest element. The lowest element is 0, and the supply for that is 17. Demand is 23. So you can put 17. If you put 17, nothing can be done here. So here this becomes 23 minus 17. So then it will become here 6. Now the left one is 6 here. Similarly you will do again for the remaining element. Now 75 minus 10 is 65. Now you do for the remaining element like this. 75 minus 10, that is 65. Now 48 minus 39. 48 minus 39 is 9. Now this nothing can be done. This is 57 minus 9 means 48. Then row wise 57 minus 39. So 57 minus 39, if you see, you will get 18. Now here this is 10 minus 9, 1. So this nothing can be done. Now this nothing can be done. Now see row wise and column wise, which one is the highest element. So if you see the biggest difference is 65, you can see the biggest difference is 65, means it will enter into the solution. Now in this, now only two elements are left, 75 and 10. Out of that, the minimum element is 10. So you do allocation for that. So if you do allocation for that, the supply for that 10 is 44 and the demand is 6. So maximum how much can you put? You can put is 6. So this nothing can be done. This is done. So this will become how much? 44 minus 6. 44 minus 6 means 38. Now 38 is left. Now this part is done. This row is done. Then this is 48 minus 39, 9. This nothing can be done. This is 48. This same, no change. Now this is 57 minus 39. So 57 minus 39, that would be 18 only. That will be 18 only. Now this would be 48 minus 9. Now this would be 48 minus 9. 48 minus 9 is 39. This is 39. And this is done. Now see, out of all penalty, which is the biggest one. So if you see row wise, column wise, it is 48. If you see row wise, it is 39. So the biggest one is 48. So 48 will enter into the solution. So if 48 will enter, then the lowest one is in the fourth column is 9. The supply for that is 38 and the demand is 30. So how much can you do? So you can put 30 here. So if you put 30 here, now the element which is left is 8. Now if you put 30 here, now the element what is left here is 8. 23 plus 8 is 31. So now you can quickly do that part. Now the element which is left is 8. So now you can see that on 39 you can put 23. Now only two elements are left, 39 and 48. So like this, if you see, ultimately if you do this, so here you will get 39 here you'll get 48 and this will be dash, and forget row wise anyway, nothing to be done. 48 minus 39 is 9, and this all done, so the highest one is 48. So if you see 48, so the supply here 8, so you can put 8 here, because the supply is 8, so then it would be done. So if you put 8 here, then this left one is 31 minus 8, that would be 23, and 23 you can put it here. So this way you done with your allocation. Anyone have any doubt, ask me. Same thing. So we found the initial basic feasible solution by Vogel approximation method. So we have 3 methods. Out of the 3 methods, we can use any method. We can follow least cost method, or we can follow Vogel approximation method, or we can follow matrix minima method. So we can follow any method to get the initial basic feasible solution. Okay, anyone have any doubt? Anyone? Any doubt? Anyone have any doubt? Everyone cleared? So one by one. So either by matrix minima method or least cost method, or by using Vogel approximation method, we do the allocation. So this allocation part is done. Once we are done with the allocation, we'll see that this allocation is optimal or not. Anyone have any doubt? Please let me know. Please write in the chat box if anyone have doubt. Okay. So I believe everyone is clear. So let's write down the problem. So then let's write down this problem. So I believe everyone, you can write down this problem in notebook, all the allocations you have done. Okay, so let's write down this problem. So now you can spend time, guys. Now you can do the test, do two things. Do the test of degeneracy, do the test of degeneracy, do the test of degeneracy, and find the total cost. Do this work. So you can do every time this work. You can do the test of degeneracy and find the total cost. You can do that work, everyone. Every time you get the problem, do that. So the number of occupied cell, if you see, that should be 4 plus 3, 7 minus 1. The total number of occupied cells should be 6. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the total cost also you can find 23 into 39 plus 6 into 10 plus 6 into 48 uh, plus 8 into 48 plus 9 into 30 plus 17 into 0 plus 24 into 16, that you can do. So that part, guys, you can do from yourself. So I believe you can do this. Now going further, now I'll do the test of optimality. Now let's do the test of optimality. Now let's do the test of optimality. Now in order to do the test of optimality, let's again write down the same problem. Write down the problem. Okay. So now write down the problem, everyone. Quickly, we don't have much time, guys. Write down this problem. So see the allocation. Is this allocation done proper or not? Write down this problem. 10, the allocation is 6. 48, the allocation is 8. Then 64, 9, the allocation is 30. 0, 17, 24, 16. Okay. So this is the allocation what is done. So quickly we'll do. This is U1. This is U1, U2, U3. Then V1, V2, V3, V4. So I put U1 equal to 0. If you put U1 equal to 0, then V1 is equal to 10, V2 equal to 48, V4 equal to 9. I believe by this time, no need for me to explain you the same thing again. By this time, you people are very confident, because I think from last 7-8 classes we are doing this only. Okay, so now by this time you should be very confident. So this would be minus 10. So this would be 34. This would be 34. Okay, so this would be 39 minus 48. So this would be minus 9. Okay, clear everyone? So 10, 48. So 10, 48. So this should be minus 10. So you can see these values. So U1, U2, U3. So 24 is equal to minus 10 plus V3. So it will come this side. It becomes plus 10, 34. Now once you're done with this, so 39 equal to 48 plus U1. So U1 plus 48 is 39. So 39 minus 48 is minus 9. So once you're done for once you found the value of U1, U2, U3, V1, V2, V3, V4, once that part is done, now I'll see the allocation for the unoccupied cell. They are positive or negative. So for all the unoccupied cells, you see the values. So suppose this is 10. So 10 plus 10 minus 9 is plus 1. So 78 minus plus 1, it should be positive only. Then 34 minus 9 is less than 48 only, so this should be positive only. Now plus 9 minus 9 is 0, so this should be positive only. Now 34 plus 0 is 34, 64 plus 30, 64 minus 34, that should be positive only. Then 10 minus 10 is 0, so this is occupied. So 48 minus 10 is 38, so this should be positive only. Now 9 minus 10 is minus 1. So 30 minus of minus 1, that should be positive. So now guys, if you notice, everything I got is positive. Now for the unoccupied cell, if you notice, everything what I got is positive only. So I believe you remember the formula. So for the occupied cells, we apply the formula that Cij is equal to Ui plus Vj, and for the unoccupied cells, we apply the formula that Cij minus Ui plus Vj. We use this formula for an unoccupied cell. So we use this formula for occupied and unoccupied cell. For the occupied cell, the formula what we used, the idea was to find the value of U1, U2, U3, V1, V2, V3, like before all the value. When that is done, now you check for all unoccupied cells and see if Cij minus Ui plus Vj is positive or not. Here I got positive, means the solution is optimal. So if the solution is optimal, now you can see the values of allocation. Now guys, now for this problem, don't find the total cost and all. So don't find the total cost. don't find the total cost, because that was not the problem. Your problem was to find the total profit. I hope you remember. Your problem was to find the total profit, not the total cost. These values, what you're getting, these are the values of minimization. But your objective was to find maximization. So what you do, write down again the same problem. Now write down the same problem again. Now what you'll do, now write down your same problem. Now write down the problem again, the problem what you got in the beginning. So original problem, write down the original, write down your original problem, write down your original data. So the original data for the problem, write down that original data. So that was 15. Write down your original data, that was 15, 51, 15, 51, 42, 33. Write down the original data, 80, 42, 26, 81, then 90, 40, 66, and 33. Now write down the original data, guys. Hope you will remember. For this data, you have to find the total cost. For this data, you have to find the maximum profit. Okay. Now, why we converted this data into minimization? So why we did that? Because that is the way. In order to solve the problem, you have to convert the maximum matrix into minimum matrix. That was the way we had to do in order to get the answer. Once you get the answer, now put the original allocation on the original value. So if you see this cell, the second cell, the allocation is 23. Okay, so put 23 here. Put 23 here. Now if you see the first element here, the allocation is 6. So put 6 here. Now here the allocation is 8. So put 8 here. Now the allocation is 30. So put 30 here on the same position. That value is irrelevant for us because we want to find the maximum profit. If you see the problem, in this problem they said find the maximum profit. So now write down the original data. Now write down the original data. So because these were the allocations, these were your allocations. And for this problem, you had to find the total profit. If you remember in this problem, if you remember in this problem, if you see this problem, what you have to find in this problem? If you remember in this problem, you see the objective function. What was your objective function? Your objective function is to solve the following transportation problem to maximize the profit. So this was your objective. You had to solve this problem. To maximize the profit. That was your objective function. To solve this problem to maximize the profit. Okay, are you understanding, everyone? Anyone have doubt? Anyone have doubt? So your objective function was maximization. So once you get this problem, now what you have to do? You have to do the allocation. So now guys, if you see this problem, so this is the allocation what you have done. Now based on this, what you do? Now based on this, what you can do? You can find the total profit. Now you can find the total profit. So now the total profit for you You can find the total profit. Now the total profit for you is 51 into 23 plus 80 into 6 plus 42 into 8 plus 81 into 30 plus 90 plus 90 into 17 plus 90 into 17 plus 16 into 66 plus 16 into 66. Okay, so this was your original problem, guys. This was your original problem. So this was your original problem, guys. So this was your original problem. So based on the original problem, whatever the allocation you have done, so based on that allocation, you can find the total profit. So your total profit, if you calculate, your total profit will come around 7,005. So you do the calculation on this way and find the total profit. So the total profit, you'll try to solve like this way, and then you will find the total profit equal to 7,005. So the allocation, what the final answer, what you get after doing allocation, the allocation what you've done, but with that allocation, if you remember, this was your value. Once you solve, you got this. But this is the data of the cost. But in this problem, you don't have to find cost. In this problem, you have to solve the problem to maximize the profit. So whatever allocation you got, use the original data, put the allocation on the original data, and based on that, you find the total profit. Anyone have any doubt? Anyone have any doubt on this part? Anyone have any doubt on this part? Anyone want to ask anything? So I hope this is clear, guys. So next class, what we'll do something difficult. This was very easy. So this was the maximization problem, which was balance transportation problem. So we'll do the actual problem which came in your exam. Every year it comes for your exam. This what I have done today is very important. So like this kind of problem we'll do in exam. Only thing my concern is that the last step. So last step, don't solve the problem. The final output what you will get, don't solve the problem like that way. The final output what you will get, don't solve the problem like that way, because that is not the answer. The final output what you will get, you just need to use the data of that output to find the maximal profit. That output, the allocation what you get, you have to substitute that allocation on the original data. And once you substitute that allocation on the original data, then you have to find the maximum profit based on the profit. I hope this is clear with everyone. So guys, now I think you have another class. So it's a time to wind up the today class. So anyone have any concern? Anyone want to ask anything? Before quickly I wind up the today class. I believe everyone is clear with what I have done today. So no one have any doubt at all. So thank you everyone. Okay, see you then on Monday. Thank you everyone.